Reporting from the 2013 World Mining Congress in Montreal, joining me is Jacynthe Côté, CEO of Rio Tinto Alcan in Montreal. Jacynthe, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Big Congress in Montreal, the first time in Canada. How does it feel being that you're based here in Montreal?
I think it's great. Canada is a very big player in the mining environment, and it's good to have the forum here. I think it's bringing a lot of people from over 60 countries. I think Canada can bring a lot to the table, but we can learn a lot from others. So, and I think for the economy of Montreal, that's a good event as well. So we're very proud to have the event here in Montreal.
Excellent. So we'll get down to it. You spoke earlier today about mining and the needs that the industry needs moving forward. Big topic was innovation. Maybe expand on that a bit. What do you mean by innovation? Where do you see it going?
Well, it's very critical to continue improving the productivity of the assets and returns on new projects as well, which has been a real challenge for the industry. And as you look forward, the ore body will be deeper in the ground in more remote areas and sometimes with a lower quality of ore body compared to what we've been mining over the last 100 years. So it is very important for the mining industry to continue innovating so that the cost of developing new projects is affordable, bring the right returns, and that we can continue maintaining low cost of operations so that we can, again, generate the right returns and continue operating assets for longer. So something that Rio Tinto takes very seriously.
Okay. Moving on, last week there was news that you'd have to shut a smelter down in Shawinigan. How difficult a decision was it to come to that final decision?
It's always very difficult. The way for us to improve performance, we do drive costs down on all our assets. The second lever we have is obviously making portfolio decisions, so Shawinigan was one. And we continue investing in brownfield and modernization. So Shawinigan was a very difficult decision. At the same time, it had been announced that production would need to stop at the end of 2014 for environmental reasons. This is an old technology, so we had negotiated since 2006 with the unions what we were going to do, when that would happen. And clearly for us it's very important now to, as we are stopping production, to really work with the community and government, like we did in other places, like in Beauharnois, in plants in UK, in France, in Switzerland, to really help the community recreate jobs on our site so that in 2 to 3 years from now, there's hopefully almost as many jobs as there is now. And this is what we call the industrial diversification. It's really what's on our mind right now, to work closely with the community. We brought the mayor of Shawinigan visiting sites that had gone through that process. And I think he came back absolutely keen to work with us. It's a journey. There's never a solution that we can replicate. We need to work with the community and find together what's the best path. And that's really in our DNA when we have to make these very tough decisions to make sure we really support the community to minimize all the impacts. So something that is going to be really much more on our mind and on our agenda over the next 2 years.
You mentioned government briefly. Being in Quebec, we have seen a bit of a revolving door with policy and royalties and laws from Charest to Palme-Marois most recently. What's it like working in that environment for Rio Tinto? Is it difficult? Is it manageable?
Well, Canada is a good place to operate, let's be real. It's a good place, Quebec too. I think what is important is remaining predictable in terms of environment and maintaining a good dialogue. So I look at the cycle we've been through over the last few months. There's been a good dialogue, and I think it landed at an acceptable place. So that's what's important for us. Predictability, and in periods of change we do understand that governments around the world are facing challenges, but the dialogue is good here. So no, we're pretty comfortable doing business here in Quebec.
Aluminum prices, we know they've been tracking down for the last 6 months. Where do you see them going in the future, maybe midterm?
Well, I would love to know where it's going to go. For us, what is absolutely critical is continue driving our costs. We know we're in a cyclical business, and for us, the recipe is, Rio Tinto's strategy is very clear, is to operate low-cost, large-scale, long-life, expandable assets, and this is exactly the same for the aluminum. Continue driving our costs down because this is the way to go through all parts of the cycle, and this is what we're really focusing on.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up on a light note. You gave the City of Montreal a bit of a gift with the planetarium. Tell us about it.
I think it's been great. We like to see ourselves as a catalyst. Obviously, our job is to make aluminum, so we like to help education, we like to help in health, but we like to be that catalyst that helps things happening. So the planetarium, I think, is very good for education, giving appetite for science to the young generation. So I think we've been there at the right time. We're very proud of the architecture. We're very proud of the programs. I don't know if you had the chance to go there, but it is absolutely exciting. You need to go. So we're very proud that it brings a real signature building to Montreal. It gives for families and tourists, about a 2 days activity, the way with the biodome there, the Jardin Botanique. So I think it's creating a fantastic consortium of activities with high educational content. So we're very proud, and I'm inviting all Montrealers and tourists to go and visit. This is a nice 3 to 4 hour stay.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me at the 23rd World Mining Congress here with Madame Côté. There will be more reporting throughout the day, so stay tuned.